Marcia Ball, and James Booker for that blues pause this morning. Imagine if we actually called it a blues pause. Wouldn't that suck? You know, we'd probably actually see a lawsuit from the people behind Blues Clues. Why do we call it a break, actually? And not just for the blues break. I mean in general. If you have a break, what are you breaking? Your time? I don't... And wouldn't calling it a pause then be better wording for a break anyway? English sucks, man. And to think some tool at Oxford in the year 4 just arbitrarily decided that was the way it was. Like, I can picture the intern, "Hey, Jerry, looks like we need a new word for those 5 minutes that your boss gives you to rest during your shift." And Jerry was like, no, just reuse that one. What, the word that means to destroy irreparably? Yeah, who cares? The plague will get us in a few days anyway. You want some weed? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's exactly how it happened. Anyway, I've got a story for you today. While we're on the topic of dictionaries, I want to share something pretty inspirational with you. And I'm always reminded about it when I hear dictionaries, because dictionaries contain every word at once, and yet we only use them for one or two. We rob them of their potential. And I think that's a spot-on analogy for how people are often robbed of their potential. They're capable of so much more, and yet we utilize their talent for so little. Now, my mother... she was a fantastic baker, talent unmatched, passionate like no other. And I want to share the story of how she used to beat me with a dictionary. It was 2004. And every day my mother would hurl the latest edition of Merriam-Webster at my 8-year-old noggin. She tried Oxford English, but it just didn't have the same weight to it. Merriam knew just how to weigh a throw-in dictionary. That's what she'd always tell me. Well, that and I hate you. One day, nursing my daily head bruise, a fairy flew in through my open window. My eyes shot wide open, and I opened my mouth to speak, but I just couldn't find the words because of the brain damage. And then the fairy spoke. It said, "Brock St. Clair, DJ at WMSV 91.1 weekday mornings from 8 to 10. Eventually, I am your blues fairy godmother, and I've been watching you, your hardships, and I know just how to help." And then, with a flick of her wrist, I found myself clothed in a beautiful velvet tuxedo. She flicked her wrist again, and I was wearing a gorgeous pair of penny loafers made entirely out of glass. Finally, she looked out the window to the old pumpkin we had growing in the yard. My fairy godmother flicked her wrist once more, and I watched in awe as the pumpkin grew larger and larger, and then it had windows and wheels, and finally, after a puff of fairy dust, I was looking at a police cruiser. The officers busted down the door and arrested my mother for child abuse. And on the way to the station, the policeman played the juke. Folks, it's the show that airs every Sunday right here on WMSV, 6 p.m. to midnight. Blues music. Blues that will remind you to persevere, even when you're pelted by dictionaries. Also, to any law enforcement officials that might be listening right now, my mother didn't actually beat me with dictionaries, okay? All just a joke, just, poking a little fun, having some fun. It was bricks. James Arthur, we got coming up next. It's Say You Won't Let Go. I'm Brock St. Clair. This is WMSV.